So the weather might be the clue as to where we are, considering it was 48 degrees Celsius where we just came from a couple of days ago. But there's no mistaking this weather, because we are in Pomgolia. I mean, England I think is the official name for it. But here in England, there's probably nothing more iconic than in London itself, but Buckingham Palace. And we're getting absolutely drenched. And there we got our famous doormen at the front there, wearing their bear hats. And over here we've got some more modern people with more modern weaponry. Queen Victoria Memorial. So we're changing the guard here. Involves a little bit of marching up and down the square. Unfortunately we can't get any closer. So those tiny lance there are actually decent sized human beings marching with great precision. Now I don't see any judges like we did in Greece, where there was a senior officer who awarded prizes to the best pom-pom man. But these guys seem to be doing a good job, and that's pretty even. I really couldn't say one was more precise than the other. They're marching up and down. I imagine that 2 hours they stand there, so I imagine doing a little bit of march would be good to get your blood circulating in your feet again. That's the Queen Victoria Memorial, and that's Queen Victoria sitting there right in the middle of it. And here we are at the front of Buckingham Palace. Got these magnificent gates, and there's a particular word there that I recognise. And of course that word is Australia. Now cherub on the top of that post is looks like he's strangling a kangaroo. And this is the famous changing of the guards. Quite a distance away. There's a big gate holding us out. Tried to ring Charles before and ask him what the gate code was, but he didn't pick up. Got our new soldiers at their posts, and these are the retiring soldiers marching away. So here we are at the Royal Muse shop. Find that quite amusing. Oh, look at that. It's so cute. Look at that. So that's expensive. So we've been to the palace, we've seen all their stuff. but you're not on a photograph in there, which was a shame. Come all this way. However, if we did have permission to take photographs inside Buckingham Palace, they probably would look a bit like these. As we didn't have permission, I guess we'll never know. But we're allowed to film here in the Garden Cafe at the Palace. So we're still in the Palace, but we can't film inside. And I must admit, we're sitting here having our cake and a cup of tea, and I was expecting silverware, but yeah, a bit of a contrast. And so it's farewell to Buckingham Palace. Unfortunately, Charles didn't arrive, which is a little bit disappointing because any time he comes around to my place, I always make an effort to be there. I don't know, maybe he's hinting, maybe our friendship's in trouble, I don't know. But anyway, tally-ho King Charles, long live the King. So when you're in London and you want to see the sights, the best way to travel is by rickshaw. Westminster Abbey right up there. Westminster Abbey coming up? Yeah.
The building was monumental, the Church of England's Royal Cathedral, a church responsible directly controlled, according to a tradition, those reported by Doctor in the 1080s, a church established at the site, then known as Swannying Around, in the south, at the time construction of the present church began in 1245 on the orders of King Henry III. Since the coronation of William the Conqueror in 1066, all coronations of England and Britain have been witnessed throughout. There have been at least 16 royal weddings,
and yes, Westminster Abbey is covered in scaffold, but we've fooled them this time because last time I came they had scaffold all over Big Ben. But this time, Big Ben is no longer scaffolded. Here she is, Big Ben.
British cultural icon, recognized all over the world, the tower is one of the most prominent symbols of English history, and prominent in the Majesty, and it is often used in the skeleton site of Swannying Around. The clock tower has been part of a great wide since 1970, and is also rotated 13 and a half of the time. It was the largest stone in the United Kingdom for 23 years. The original was it's maybe named after Sir Benjamin Hall, who oversaw its installation, or a boxing heavyweight champion Benjamin Hall. 4 quarters of time at 15, 30 and 45 minutes past the hour, and just before beginning on the hour. The clock.
As we walk across Westminster Bridge, that's the world famous and hideous London Eye that they promised that they would tear down after the new millennium celebrations, but they broke their promise, and that eyesore remains to this day. And over that side there is London Bridge, that very innocuous looking bridge over there. And even though there's a rumour that London Bridge is falling down, it's not actually falling down at all. As you can see, it's still there. Crossing the River Thames on the Westminster Bridge. We've got pigeons, we've got hot dogs, we've got buses, and we've got U-turns, and this is Parliament House ahead of us here.
To the Palace of Westminster is the meeting place of the House of Commons and the House of Lords, the two houses of the Parliament of the United Kingdom, commonly known as the Houses of Parliament after the document. The first royal palace was built on the site in the 11th century, and Westminster was the primary residence of the Kings of England until fire destroyed much of the complex in 1512. After that, it served as the home of the Parliament of England, which had been meeting there since the 13th century. And the palace is owned by the monarch in right of the crown and for ceremonial purposes. The London Eye.
That's Downing Street, the home of the English Prime Ministers. So we were planning to pop in at number 10 and say hello and congratulate the new Prime Minister. But unfortunately the police got the road blocked off at the moment, which they must be planning to do some road works or something like that. Yes, it's just lucky you don't live at number 8 or number 6 Downing Street. This would be very inconvenient. And now here we are at St James Palace.
Smile, you're on camera.
When we were in Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan, I kept saying to Elena, when we get there and you had to pay 20 soms, 40 soms to go and use a public toilet, they said that's a sign of a backward country and uncivilized. But now that I'm here in England, if you go to a park, you have to pay 20p for 1p. But it's alright though, because you can use a credit card. Anyway, I think it's a big backwards step for Britain. Squirrel! Just sitting there munching on his nuts.
Yeah.
So this is Pall Mall. Now, I don't remember it being a very expensive place, Pall Mall, on the Monopoly board, but I reckon it might cost a little bit to live here. That's Queen Elizabeth, who died in 2002. That's better known as the Queen Mum, and her dad was King George IV. And this is the National Police Memorial, honouring those who serve. Captain James Cook. Darling, when we started our journey in Sydney, you asked me who that woman was, and I said to you, well, that was before transgenderism, and it was the founder of our nation. And just to prove it, here is his statue, looking very masculine. Thank you very much. Help us grow, like, share and subscribe. And there is Lord Nelson, way up there on top of his column. Funny enough, I think they call it Nelson's Column. The hero sailor of Great Britain.
Trafalgar Square in London.
Okay, now. And this is Trafalgar Square. And that there is the National Gallery. That's celebrating 200 years of the National Gallery, 1824 to 2024. Another Victorian one, I'd say. And that's the Houses of Parliament. It's where all the British decisions are made. And what better way to finish our Swanning Around London adventure but to have traditional fish and chips? What do you have, though?
Calamari.
Calamari and chips are coming, and we're at the St Stephen's Tavern, right opposite Parliament House. And yeah, we're going to eat, have a drink, and see you in the next video.